How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal, and I want to start this video by going back in the Wayback Machine to probably about 1986, 87, something like that. And we're going to go on vacation with an unnamed Taito programmer. Guy decides to take a vacation during holiday to New Zealand. And much like Shigeru Miyamoto tends to do, he found inspiration while he was out in the world. He was so touched that he decided to make a video game based on the country. So he goes back to Japan, gets to work, and in 1988 we get an arcade game called The New Zealand Story. And the New Zealand Story is relatively popular. Popular enough that computer and home consoles got ports out the wazoo all over the world. Everybody got a home port. And 3 years after that initial release, the NES got a home port. But for some inexplicable reason, the name was changed. It wasn't called The New Zealand Story anymore. And that leads us to today. Today's game is Kiwi Craze. Now, Kiwi Craze is your simple action platformer, but it's very Taito in its execution. Taito was known for these single screen or these slowly scrolling platformers that were mascot driven. They were cutesy, but they hid a dastardly level of difficulty behind them. And Kiwi Craze is no different. This game, you play as a kiwi in this game. It's undeniably adorable. You rescue kiwis, including your love Fifi. And the way you tell the difference between the two, Fifi has a bow on her head. And you're rescuing all these kiwi from a walrus that kidnapped them all for some reason. We never really find out why. He just decided he wanted a bunch of kiwi. Well, this game takes place at different locations around the country of New Zealand. Well, it says it's in different parts of New Zealand, but everything is real nondescript. But that's besides the point, because this game is incredibly charming. There's a lot of cute little enemies in it. The boss fights are fun as hell. The character designs are adorable. But again, this game is hard. I want to say it doesn't have unlimited continues. It has limited continues, and it's a hard game. So yeah, it's pretty nasty. And it's also pretty faithful to the arcade original, minus a couple of things. There's a cane you pick up in the game. In the arcade game, it was a weapon, fireballs. In the NES port, it gives you limited invincibility, kind of like a Starman in Super Mario. Well, this game has lots of different little enemies, and the enemies are on vehicles, and you can use these different vehicles and clouds and hot air balloons and stuff to traverse the landscape a lot quicker to get to each level's end goal, which is to rescue a kiwi. Each level, the goal is a little kiwi in a cage. Still incredibly cute. You find the kiwi, rescue the kiwi, a little door opens up, and you go to the next level. The boss fights are interesting. Some of the bosses are just weird. There's a whale. The first boss is a whale, and you shoot the whale, but it's basically unstoppable, and it will swallow you up and you have to fight your way out of the belly of this whale. And once you beat the whale, it crumbles like a piece of glass. There are lots of other different bosses leading up to the final confrontation with that walrus. Not going to get into all of it because I don't want to spoil it, because you should definitely play this game. It's a lot of fun. If you're looking to get a physical copy of this game, it's surprisingly enough, it's not the most painfully expensive thing that Taito made in the latter ends of the NES life cycle. However, it is over $50, so you're gonna pay about $50 to $65 for a loose cart. But it's a fun game, and I wouldn't be mad at you if you plunk down that money to get a copy of this game. But I will say there are easier ways to play this game, even the arcade version. But this has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people next time. Tomorrow, this thing got released in the States, and it's based on a manga. It didn't get released in Japan. The manga didn't get released in the US, and I am confused.